It's a bit
We're in our
strange,
little
isn't
hole.
it? I was convinced we'd been together for a long time. But I can't believe we've only just met. The beginning of my journey may have been a false memory. But my journey with you and the memories we've made, those are all real. Well, guess I'm repeating myself. But I'm glad we're working together.
Stay beside me forever. She might have plans of her own, buddy. Let's not hold her down.
Likewise, I'm glad.
Will
to be
do
your ally.
anything with
Yep.
an iron will to take down the
So,
gods.
I guess our toughest challenge is next.
Having overcome her trial, I can sense newfound conviction from Gallica as both ally and friend. Finally, we can max out Gallica's archetype. Let's go.
The mystical fairy.
Now we only have a few people left, which is
She
good
who
to
still
max out.
keeps the virtues of the mage. Your tempered bond
Finally, we
has
can learn the next two
become a
stages of the mage.
fire-forged trust. Thus, a new pinnacle of heroism awakens
So that way, when I
within you.
actually start
By the grace of her newfound
jewel,
powers,
heroic jewel
work
grinding
together
in
to give truth
in
to
the
our hopes
in the mimic
and
dungeon.
fulfill thy destiny.
Rank 8. Party can now study the Elemental Master and the Warlock. Ooh. I wonder why... I can understand why Will would probably have 4 archetype patterns, but why does Hulkenberg have 4 archetype patterns? You can now study the Elemental Master in Academia. Try seeing what new powers await you. Warlock archetype unlocked. You can now study the Warlock. I mean, I know it's Gallica's archetype, but I keep calling it Will's archetype. His is the Prince, technically. Try seeing what new power awaits you.
When things get tough, remember this magic.
Why is her magic
music
music?
meant for you
I don't
will
think
play in your
Gallica has ever once talked about music. This is the magic of music that Gallica cast me once. Now that I think about it, it may have helped me in ways I didn't realize. I feel like she never talks about music, though.
By the way, the chiefess told me something about your novel. Apparently your parents gave you that book when you were still just a kid. I wonder what your parents wanted you to get from reading it. What they hoped for you, I guess. I suppose you'll have to find out for yourself.
This book is the legacy of my parents, the late king of Uchronia and the queen of the Elden Sanctum. Perhaps the utopia depicted in this book wasn't a mere fantasy, but ideas of the old world passed down in the Sanctum. Music is the first form of magic. We listened to the soundtrack through Gallica. Oh, yeah, I guess I could see that. How are you feeling, Hibiki? I'm feeling a little better. I did have a little bit more stomach aches earlier today, but it hasn't acted up for a few hours, so I hope that I'm okay. But thank you for asking. I appreciate it.
The part we're reading today is the last chapter. It's about the ruler of this
Is his
ideal
bunk
world.
supposed to be a capsule hotel?
right,
Yeah. I think it looks pretty cozy. I wouldn't mind sleeping in it. In a capsule bed. It's better than what Heisman's doing,
last
sleeping outside
chapter
in the tent where it's probably cold as heck.
Is about the ruler of a utopia. The one who governs this utopia must have an unwavering will. To maintain justice
Oh my
in this
god, he
world,
looks like just any
there
other
are
normal
innumerable
guy.
obstacles to overcome.
Oh, there we
Yet,
go. We have
as
it.
long as
Our
one lives by
bot
their
of the
ideals,
stream.
Those who support them are sure to follow. A
There's always
utopia
one.
is not the creation of a single mind or a single power. It is a world shaped by all its people. The last part sounds a little more metaphorical. There's a little more. However, even a utopia may one day fray at the edges, and its people may come to conflict over the question of what is right.
Nalva's
What
going
is
to
a
be
true
one of my core
utopia?
parts in my will analysis.
What is a true ruler? None have yet found the answers to these questions.
Then true utopia has never been achieved. The so-called utopia depicted within the novel was based on the old world, but it fell into ruin and was destroyed by war. So if this book traces the trajectory of the old world, are these truly the ideals we're striving for? It seems rather the opposite.
So even the author of this book struggled with these questions. And if you become king, You'll have plenty of tough
I wanna know
questions
who wrote
and
this
struggles
book.
to face yourself.
And why is Luis... Okay. It's kind of interesting how both Will and Luis are reading the same book. Yet, even if they read the same source material, they still strive for different ways of how to rule the world.
Lady Cruaday mentioned the king was a real idealist when he first arrived at the village. But little by little, the pains of reality crushed his hope. And he even lost his son. In the end, his will was broken.
Quite literally.
He didn't lift a finger to stop the church's rise to power. With that in mind, I can honestly see why people would be drawn to Luis. His values are radical and cruel, but he's devoted to them. Unshakable, even. But we can't lose either. For the sake of everyone who has believed
The
in us
original
along the
Utopia
way.
novel was quite dystopian. Even if I were to win the throne, there's no guarantee my idealistic vision would ever become a reality.
Right.
And yet, what choice is there but to believe in them and fight on? The alternative is to accept that nothing will change.
You've got the power to change the world. And the one who gave it to you was, well, yourself. And that's what I'm going to help you with. That's my mission. My real mission. And I'm going to see it through.
After discussing the novel of ideas with Gallica, I close my eyes. Sleepy time! Oh, hey, Moore, what's up? Academia, it seems that I've been summoned by Moore in a dream.
I saw what happened. So, you found a way to unequivocally shape your destiny.
Is Moore our dad?
As far as I know, there is no record of your newly acquired archetype ever being used, even in
He said
ancient
the
times.
king put him here, right? Is he like what Will was? Like how the prince had a fantasy ideal and he created Will from it? Because Moore is Clamar. So is Moore like the king's version of that? More is more, but also more is less? Or is he just more?
An archetype whose existence was only theoretical, known to some scholars as the magic of true sovereignty. Indeed, a power of legend. I once said that to be elder was your inescapable fate. However,
I'm sure more is probably just
seems
more,
the
but I just
truth
threw
is
that
more
out there.
complex than that. Magic is a process by which we confront fate and tame anxiety, and archetypes are its essence. They are manifestations of a resolve capable of heroic virtue. So then, what do you think is the foremost, most inescapable fate a person must bear?
The foremost fate. Not really sure, but for me to be me, and for you to be you, or something like that.
Indeed, it is birth that is inescapable. You cannot choose who you are born to, and once your familial place is determined, that fate cannot be changed. Yet by some strange tangle of destiny, you were given a choice that the very act of existence denies most people. By your own will, you were born again as a prince. Do you understand?
With the power to change the
You
world.
stand on the threshold of truly becoming a ruler, not as an unearned title of bloodline's chance, nor as a mere authority over people. You have taken control of your life. You are ready to rule your very self. That is what it truly means to be a hero. And it is the crux of the power that is awakened within you. What glorious coincidence indeed, that I, as a scholar of archetypes, might cross paths with and witness such
It was
a remarkably
fate.
fated boy. It almost bespeaks.
Indeed, 'tis his hands that bear our fate.
Who?
We still don't 100% remember. Or know who this
I
voice is? Is
remember.
it his? It's either his. I think it might be his
know that I
mom.
know this voice. Have I forgotten it all this time? Yes. I swear I've heard it before. And I let it slip from my mind. Who are you? You with this voice that moves hearts. Speak. Who are you? Why have you awakened this boy to his power?
Because Moore also doesn't
seek,
have a lot of memories
then
from
go and
before
claim
this,
them.
right?
Are you? Could you be?
As for you, I bid thee awaken. Move onward to thy final ordeal. Take
Playing
thy
Genshin and
place
Bennett
at
just
the
got
final
one shot by a
proving
goat.
of the
Aw,
ascension
Bennett
of
and his poor
kings.
luck. Did you say fate? I did say fate. My consciousness faded away and I was sent back to my sleep. Okay. I reminded that Moore was the author of the fantasy. Oh, right. Has Moore visited the ancient... Okay.
Time marches on.
Moore's
and
the one who
age
wrote the
of new
novel.
king
Okay.
draws nearer.
Oh, Gallica. Finally, they changed the freaking picture.
Okay, all our preparations are just about set. Now that this is actually happening, I've got some pre-show jitters.
All this royalty? It always felt they lived in a different world to the likes of me. Never figured I'd be walking alongside one myself.
'Tis proof that bloodline decides nothing. We are one people living in a shared world.
Looks like this is gonna be our last mission. Any final words you want to say?
I mean, they say our last mission, but we still have a month of the game.
We can't give up. Stand strong to the end.
Of course. No way we're losing here.
Oh, that Will and
I've got
Gallica
the
are
fire
cozy
in
together
me
in bed.
eyes
It's pretty
now.
heartwarming. It is
About
cute.
the new stuff you've felt and learned since becoming the prince.
Correct, he knows the king trapped him there, but he doesn't remember
Can I
much
ask you
besides
one more
that.
thing?
So a theory
What
I'll put
is
out
it
there,
that
don't
you
actually
need
confirm or deny, is maybe
not
Moore
about
is like
honor
what
or
Will
power, is
was. Like he's a fantasy version of the king, because Moore's Clamar, and he doesn't have any memories, and he says the king put him there. And he recognizes the mysterious voice, and I feel like the game is hinting that Gallica and Will are supposed to know who the voice is. And apparently so does Moore. And what could tie Moore and Will together is if they're potentially quote unquote related, but that's one possible theory until they confirm it. Break to my country's people, I care for honor, some coin would be nice.
I want to protect this country and its people.
I feel like Will
Just
has
the
a very
answer I hoped
heroic
for.
personality. He's not really,
As your knight,
I don't really feel like
I
he's
will
as much of
ever
a
serve you
jokester.
with all my soul and ability.
Or I don't know what his canon
Well,
personality is,
I
but
guess this means we're ready as we're gonna be.
and they reminded that Moore was the one who wrote the fantasy book. Ancient Eldest Sanctum. Head to Grand Trad. Okay. This way.
This place here.
Alright, Luis, guess what? I'm back.
You see?
I'm like that annoying ex that won't go away. I doubt all in Grand Trad will give us a warm reception. Still, should we choose... Oh, fuck. Still, should we choose not to fight, then Luis' victims only pile higher. Easy to say will help anyone, but doing it a whole nother thing. All the more reason we gotta prove that we're serious by putting our lives on the line. So the team consists of Ken Kaneki, Best Bro for Days, Best Waifu, a Fruit Bat, Phantom at the Opera, Shy Healer, and a Scottish Furry. In retrospect, we'll lead by example. Perhaps it won't be the first time we've crawled our way up from the bottom.
After having made so many sacrifices, the group has gained new powers and ascertained new truths. Their arch-enemy, Luis, already has one hand on the throne. Even so, they march ever forward, spirits rekindled by battle. They head to Grand Trad, for the fight is far from over.
I do agree Will is a heroic person at heart, yet they can still be funny. That is true. But I feel, I don't know, Will gives me the is it? The feeling that he's more of a serious guy. I don't know. That's just the feeling I get from him.
Which I don't see the general.
Made homemade steak style beef fried rice and it came out so good. Ooh, that sounds good. I can't eat rice though, sadly.
The voice of the pro-Luis faction became
And we still have these ugly church ruler people.
Forced out of his
Or they're not even church rulers, they're just people. Prince of Oceania. Other rulers of power.
Why is it that Luis alone is reaping the benefits?
The public mind is the same as it's always been. It's too difficult to find answers in themselves. So
see, what race are these guys? They look much more different compared to everybody else in the game.
It's always easier to follow than to have to make all the risks yourself.
We haven't really seen much of their types floating about. Takeout style, yee.
Can you imagine Luis on the throne?
Sounds amazing.
Can you imagine what he'd do with us? We'd be the first on the chopping
Don't talk
block.
about food to me. I'm still sad about the fact that they forgot my dinner.
Is this really the time for idle chit-chat?
Who are you?
Just a passing wastrel. Thought I'd drop in for a word since I was in the area. You might have one way to survive.
Hey, there's Luis reading the book again.
Well then.
Does he like the book or does he hate the book? I want to know.
Lord Luis, your pardon. We've encountered an unexpected snag.
Let me do my version. The party consists of good pure boy, best bro, best knight, literal Batman, the nymph, best summoner waifu, and true best boy. Everyone's the best at everything. Sag. All I made today was lemonade. Dinner now. You need to eat real food. Especially you, who always does physical work all day. You need more protein. You need more balanced meals.
Village. I confirmed his death, yet it appears.
Or you're just saying like that's what you made, not what you ate.
With his corpse.
What did I make today? I made toast.
Resurrected? Yes, and what's more,
I made toast. Most of the rest of my food I ate today was leftovers.
the boy candidate was the actual prince after all. Something about his soul having
Need to get some food soon. Everyone's getting food but me. Where?
I see. So his ideal form was spun from Magla. Whatever the case, this means the land's true prince.
We still didn't kill his motherfrigger, Zorba.
How interesting.
Well, we need to kill Zorba before we kill Luis, because it's not gonna be nothing if he performs his necromancy thing again.
My nemesis.
Just what I made. I rewormed a bunch of chicken.
Chicken, what is it about that bastard that fascinates you?
Banana.
I won't let it end like this. I have to do better. I need more power. I will show Lord Luis I am worthy of his gaze.
We'll soon be arriving above the royal capital.
His only ally at this point,
As
Zorba.
planned, increase altitude and enter the royal palace in the sky.
Are you certain? We'll be heading directly to His Majesty, the former king, and...
Rest assured, that old fool is powerless to stop me now. Proceed.
Understood.
Let the final banquet begin.
Their voice actors are best buddies. The Japanese ones is devoted soul to Luis, and that the former isn't interested towards him. Love that.
Come on, any takers? Any bets for the other candidates? Remember, if
wow,
Luis
we have
loses,
like
the silver
pennies.
coin could turn into mountains of Reef.
What are you trying to say? You think Count Luis is going to lose?
Oh no, of course not. I'm just saying.
I'll call that bet. All in on His Highness the Prince.
Yay, Batlin is finally on our side after like judging us the entire game.
Sanctus bigwig gambling away his tides. This really is the end of the world. Didn't know his esteemed princeliness had any supporters left.
I mean, he's not really the prince, is he? Was actually a monster in disguise all along. Haven't you heard the news?
Batlin the Goat, let's go. He's been redeemed.
Must be tough, being an easy mark. It didn't take much for you to buy everything Luis was selling about the prince.
Exactly.
The fireworks went
All
off
he-
the moment he said, "Behold." Remember? You don't think there's any chance Luis orchestrated
No one questions the fact he
entire
used
thing?
dark magic. No one questions the fact that freaking Juna and Basilio switched sides. No one thinks that's concerning at all. They obviously know something you guys don't.
You think Count Luis lied to us? You think he cast some big illusion?
No one thinks it's weird that Rella just kind of died.
What if I said it's a power more dangerous than that? Always struck me as odd. We all know Luis, the mighty human slayer, but how does he keep finding the things one after another? Seems a bit convenient, if you ask me. Like,
Let's go, Batlin. Who knew you were actually this smart? Who knew you were actually
Easy
this
to
smart?
nitpick and gripe about him, isn't it, Churchman? Maybe someone needs to shut you up.
All right.
Crazy how Batlin is getting better character development than other characters. Not specifically in this game, but like.
What's all this fuss about?
Damn it! When Count Luis is king, you'll all be the first at the gallows. You'll die just like Forden.
Well, they're probably just
Who?
as
The people,
anxious as
probably.
rest of us. All that yelling and
Quickly get rid of
thrashing
Batlin
helps
before
fight it
Luis's
off.
big villain arc.
Humans have
Get rid
been
of Batlin.
silent near the capital, after all.
It's more than that. Pockets of society have resented the upper class for ages now, but this might be the spark that lights the kindling. Luis's respect for power is certainly cruel, but it's fair to an extent. Those of us pushing the status quo have always struggled to understand the appeal.
Even then, everyone's on edge. They'll jump at any excuse to argue and snarl at each other. Never seen it this bad. Not normal, I say.
Blind fanaticism and doom go hand in hand. If we don't find some common ground soon, it'll collapse beneath us. Luis left saying that he'd be waiting at the Royal
What are we
Capital.
looking at? Oh, the
One
Skyrunner?
place he could be. All eyes are on his Skyrunner as it rises to the Flying Palace. What are we about to see?
Did the moon get further away? What happened? I remember its nose being like so close to the
Royal
ground.
Palace. It's been a while. Do you hear me, O king?
Who let him just
Stubborn
walk
and
in?
deathless?
Hello?
This country is distorted. You and the other titled authorities decide who grows fat and who is devoured. The country knows no
You gotta
war
blow up the
only because
moon.
our very core is built
There are
upon a
bombs in
system
this
of
game.
societal predator and prey. It cannot be defied from within. That is peace, but not order. Hand over the royal scepter. The game is over. The country needs change, and I will provide it.
Thou impertinent faith breaker, hast thou no shame
It's a
in
ghost.
preempting the day of judgment?
Do you presume yourself a god? Is that why you roared
Knowing
your
Luis,
face
if
in
anyone was
stone
there,
and
he
took
would
it to
kill
the
them.
heavens?
Yeah,
You're nothing.
fair.
Just an ordinary.
At this point, he's got so much
broken
upper hand.
How wouldst thou wield the king's magic? To what end?
To purify all that your kind have left to rot. You threw away your
Went on
ideals.
destruction the moon!
will never
Get him,
make that
Basilio.
Only the people's chosen may take the throne. The royal scepter and its resting place remain beyond you.
This royal scepter, the royal magic. Did you think that only generations of kings were aware of their secrets? Why someone can manipulate world-changing power by use of only a single scepter? Why only those supported by the people can use it? Listen well, O king. The truth behind the royal magic. Huh. So it's true. The country truly
Is Luis
putrid.
hallucinating, or can he actually see ghosts?
In other words, if I took hold of it now, then I would have the power to change the world itself.
How didst thou learn of this?
How?
Oh. His horns are fake!
Thou wert elder.
You were not always blind.
You know, I'm kind of not surprised that he's Elda. How else would he know about Will being an elder or being a human.
Passion in your heart. And yet, what happened to our village? What happened to this country?
Oh.
Random deal, hello. Wait, I'm an hour late. I need to stop killing time with Dyson Sphere program. Best plot twist ever. It's pretty. It makes sense, honestly. It does make sense he would hide himself as the Klamar, the highest of the food chain. And I was thinking, I was like, how does he know the truth behind, Will, like, elders being human? And then Batlin also brought up the point. I was actually thinking it in the moment, but I didn't want to say it because I assumed it was wrong, but I was thinking it. He was like, you know, it's kind of convenient that Luis is always fighting these humans so easy. And I was like, you know, that's a good point. Maybe it's because I was thinking it, but I didn't say it because I thought it was wrong.
You cannot stop me any longer. Nor can anyone else.
Is he just gonna not wear his horns anymore? If people still support him after seeing that he's not wearing his horns anymore. Now for Elise is get some deity-esque sort of power and turn into Super God the Great. He's definitely gonna turn into... Every Atlas game ends with you fighting God. There's God's gonna show up at some point in this game. Yeah, but actually Luis is a foil to the entire party, not just Will, but that's just my opinion. A foil?
The Gauntlet Runner comes.
Yeah, makes sense. The horns are a lie.
What the hell's wrong with the sky?
Isn't that... Oi! That monster boy's come back!
Ah, that's why the sky's grown so hellish. The half-dead bastard returns with his head held high.
A more aggressive welcome than I expected. Would any introductions help them to understand?
It's useless. Words are cheap. Still,
And has come?
we should walk with pride.
Is it though? We still have all of October.
His Royal Highness, the Prince, returns. Luis distorted his form through strange and terrible magics, but the curse is now dispelled. His true form has been restored.
Oi, if that's really His Highness, then tell us why in His Majesty in the sky stop all this bloodshed.
So you guys won't believe our words, but you'll believe anything that spews out of Luis's mouth. I see how it goes. If anything, Luis is the real imposter. We just learned he's an Elder.
At least listen.
And you. Never thought I'd see one of the Magnus brothers standing against Count Luis, even the thick one. He took in a Paripus like you, and you spit on him. Scum.
Of course. People don't even care that he switched sides. They're just like, you racist. Yeah, it's probably your own fault.
Lady Juna, I can't believe
Almost like real life. Yeah.
Why would you risk dying alongside some fake prince? I don't intend on dying with anyone. Besides, I'm still me, whoever I'm standing with.
Hey, you chief. Weren't you the wretch who got kicked out of the knighthood? Now you're with this pack of throne chasers. Shame.
I say we kill them all.
Mustari girl.
You ungrateful.
Oh, everyone's just gonna say racist things towards us. Okay.
Church for you.
How dare you strike out at him?
They're all traitors, I say.
It's ironic that Will gets all of the hate that Luis should be getting, and no, I'm not just saying it because Luis is Elder. No, I agree. Like, I don't like, it's really baffling to me that people are just okay with everything Luis has been doing, and yet, what have we done to any of these people personally? Kind of nothing. But because we're just a group of mixed races, people are like, attack, attack, attack you, bro.
What is all this? The truth of the prince.
No one's questioning Luis at all, despite the fact that he's shown so much different things. Like, he killed Fidelio. Granted, not a lot of people saw it, but he killed Fidelio. He died and came back to life, basically admitted he's working with someone who knows necromancy. People seem to be okay with that. And he showed dark magic. No one questioned that. Or no one questioned how he knew that Eldas are humans. And like Batlin brought up the point. It's like, isn't it convenient that Luis just knew that, you know? And that he's known for being a human slayer. Isn't it weird? The racism is a bit overplayed. I feel like, I don't want to say overplayed. I think this world is just very structured around the very structured around race. Like, we may be living in a time period where it's a little more acceptable for, you know, different races to be in different positions of power. But we think about past human history, how literally, like, your race determined your entire life. Like, we kind of forget that not we forget, but like, that's really how even us modern history was. Like, our race really did determine everything we do. And at the time period that metaphor takes place in right now, it makes sense for that as well. That race is everything in this world. Notice that no one said anything about Stroll or Hulkenberg. Exactly. Because Stroll's Clamar and Hulkenberg, I don't even remember what her race is. But I know she's never once received a racist comment either. Both Stroll and her. Openly admits to killing the king. Exactly. Like, Luis is just like too cocky, and no one for some reason thinks that's questionable. Luis incites hate and hatred. Everyone's cool. Will befriends folks with different races and does justice. Kill that man. Eradicate him. Exactly. Everyone's just, well, people just can't get rid of the old ways, basically. Overplayed. I disagree. I definitely could it be seen like that, but again, mirrors out real world. Yeah, like in our modern world, it may seem like it's overplayed, but if we think about history, then like it makes sense. Racism was considered normal until a couple decades ago. Yep, pretty much.
We'll have your heads on pikes soon enough. Leave! Get out of our royal capital!
If they're just monsters, we can deal with them ourselves. How about it?
This is bad. They really are out for our blood. Has everyone gone insane?
Oi, over here!
Batlin!
Don't bother with them.
How'd you get on top of our gala runner?
You need to run now.
We weren't away from the city that long. What happened? Why are all the people so bloodthirsty now?
The prince turning into a monster before their eyes still lingers in their minds. After all, a monster entered into their society disguised as a person.
No, that's not...
I know, it's not true. But truth and how it appears to the citizens...
More like there was a period of a more intense racism that ended a couple decades ago? Yeah. Not sure the 1960s were a couple decades ago. More like half a century. Oh man, it's hard. It's crazy to think about time like that. Like shit, the 60s actually were a long time ago.
Moreover, humans have been sighted closer than ever before. The royal capital's populace is unused to danger, so they've become suspicious of each other. How fares your neighbor? Do you run in circles with monsters in disguise? Are questions on the tip of every tongue. Ever since Forden's death, Luis has everyone on a knife edge. He's erratic, and nobody knows how he'll react to those who defy him if push comes to shove.
So, at the core of it, people are scared witless, and they cling to Luis as a savior, rather than the devil he is.
You well know that Luis cares not one whit about social status, especially as a token of birthright. No amount of wealth or standing can buy his protection. So even those who may have opposed him at first now counsel that condemning him would be imprudent, as it puts their safety at risk.
Then we're stuffed. He won't save anyone. And oh yeah, he can create humans, by the way.
Oh,
and everyone's okay with that, apparently.
I have my suspicions, but it's still a bit of a jolt. This all said, in my humble opinion, what we're seeing in the people now has been in the works for some time. Now, has the tournament for the throne truly ever been a fair contest? The Sanctus Church bent it to its whim, and I abetted that.
Warden's
To my shame,
responsible.
Before I met you people,
The church.
I didn't
It's
have
always
much
the
to me
church.
but anger and quips. Yeah, I'd rant and snipe and have my cynical little discourse, but I'd only looked to others for change. Now maybe that outlook's our real enemy. Blind fanaticism, like I had. Even if there's no malice to it, it's a dangerous thing. Hard to think clear when your mind's a muddy stream.
We've been told Magla is born from people's anxiety. Perhaps the proof is now before our eyes.
Kind of ironic. But we have to do something about it. If we don't, they'll never listen. We'll only ever be seen as an enemy.
I had the inn prepared. They won't let anyone in but you lot. Let's head there for now, shall we?
We're gonna have another battle with Luis? Neros is heading back to the Gauntlet Runner. It seems like the city has calmed down, at least a tiny bit. They'd have a hard time wrecking our Gauntlet Runner, but we still shouldn't chance it.
All right.
We should make our way over to the Hushed Honeybee. Everyone else has already gone ahead. Oh god, are we gonna get a... I'm surprised no one's attacking us on the street right now.
Let's go.
Hold on.
What now?
I have 2 of these.
I found new power.
Okay.
Ooh.
Head to the Hushed Honeybee. Oh, there we go. I was just about to say, why is no one attacking us right now? My point was, it wasn't all that long ago. There are people that were born around that time and only just reaching retirement age, and it's important to think about. And I will say, elderly people born in the 60s and before, they are the most racist people that I know. Literally the most racist people I've ever met in my life. Like, holy moly. Like, I have some of my brother's friends worked in retirement homes, and one of them is white, the other one was Asian, and the other one was Latino. And let's just say the Latino and the Asian did not have a fun time. The white friend was basically saying, yeah, I don't highly recommend that job to anyone who's not white. And it's like, oh. Yeah, they would sometimes repeat the things that the elderly people would say to them, and I'm just like, even when these people are hired to help them, like these volunteers are helping the elderly people, they'll still be racist. Important to think about the fact that even if Will does become king, many of the problems that are plaguing the country now will still remain. Yeah, unfortunately, Will may just be the pillar, but sadly, it takes time. It takes time. So all of Will's ideals might not even come true or come to full fruition in his lifetime. There's going to need to be other leaders that follow him that have the same ideals in order for real change to really happen. Is originally supposed to go to Venus, but got stuck in Earth orbit. Man, Luis really got everyone riled up. But that's fine, right? What's important is we don't break over this. See, and how fast people's opinions change, too. Oh, this is a store I've never walked in, huh?
Hey.
Oh, I've never walked in here. That's crazy. And I can't even right now. What is this? A dog? In a rat. Oh, gosh.
Luis is the only one left.
Smash it all.
Hey, Elkenberg. Oh, I should have spoke to her.